Oh, we hit 4,500. Let's go. Whoops. Um, okay. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back into the stream today. Hope you're having a good day. We're almost done with chapter 9 here. Last stream of chapter 9. Feels good, feels good. Some people roll up in here. Hey, what's going on, Mohammed? Welcome in. Oh, thanks for joining me today, Nate. Thanks for joining me tonight, man. Appreciate you so much. Welcome in. What you working on tonight? What are your goals for the evening? What you getting done? Appreciate you being here. Let's rock. Me and Mohammed rocking. Okay, let's keep going. Welcome back in tonight, you guys. We are back. We are back. Back. C programming. Say, Sonny. Say, Sonny. Back in C programming, modern approach, second edition by our boy, the one and only KN King, the GOAT. Been liking this book so far, giving us a really great feel for C so far. So we are in the chapter 9 programming projects, which are at the end of chapter 9. We're almost done with them. We're on number 7 and 8 are the last two we have to finish up today. And then we'll be moving on up to East Side. Whatever, I don't know the lyrics of that song. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see what we can do here. Working. Let's go, Mohammed. We working. Okay. Number 7. The power function of section 9.6 can be made faster by having it calculate x to the power of n in a different way. We first notice if that n is a power of 2, then x to the power of n can be computed by squaring. For example, x to the power of 4 is the square of x squared. So x to the 4 can be computed using only 2 multiplications instead of 3. As it happens, this technique can be used even when the n is not a power of 2. If n is even, we use a formula of x to the power of n is equal to x to the power of n over 2 to the power of 2. If n is odd, then x to the power of n equals to x times x to the power of n minus 1. Write a recursive function that computes x to the power of n. The recursion ends when n is equal to 0, in which case the function returns 1. To test your function, write a program that asks the user to enter values for x and n, calls power to compute x to the power of n, then displays the value returned by the function. Oh boy. I saved these two for today because I knew they were going to be a little bit more maybe lengthy. Okay, so let's just jump right in. So we got to include our normal stuff, right? Our standard io.h. And then we're going to have a main function, right? Int main void. Oop. Get my nail on my fingers, give me a little problems. Okay. We're going to printf. I need to like get a better. I use the MacBook, like wireless keyboard. You know, let's do this. Let's do a goal. Goal. 5 super chats. Okay. Keyboard. Fund. Clacky. Or creamy. Not creamy. No, come on, bro. Chill. I'm not gonna do this. That's cringe. Never mind. Never mind. I gotta save up a budget for a new keyboard because it's kind of like not very ergonomic. Like it's too low profile, and it kind of hurts in my hands a little bit after all this time. Okay. Okay, we're gonna printf and ask the user for a value of x and n. So enter a value, a base value. Value, see, I can't type. What should be your x? And then we're going to scanf. Let's make an int x and n. We're going to scanf and read this into an integer at the memory location of x. Let's copy this down. We'll say enter a exponent value n. We'll save this into n. And then we're going to call the power to compute that function. Printf. I'm going to do a long. Okay. And then what we're going to need to do is now write a power function. So long power, which takes in an int x, int n. And so we're going to say if n is equal to 0. Oh. All right, we're going to return 1. Right, else if n mod 2 equals to 0, right? We're going to call we need to call return I'm confused by this one a little bit. So we return x to the power of n is equal to x to the power of n over 2. So if we go all the way down, it returns 1 when n is, okay. We return 1 in the base case. So 1 gets returned. We call x to the power of n x and then n minus 1, because we have to reduce n to our base case, right? But this, that's for the case of odd, right? Right. That's for the case of odd. Else we can return the even formula, which is power of x as our base value and n divided by 2 no. Okay, hold on. So let's just try to figure out the inner function here. So x to the power of n divided by 2. Now all of this needs to be to a power of 2. So do I just multiply this by this value again? This, can I just do this here? Or do I need to call power 2? That's my guess. I'm gonna try it. We're gonna find out here. Oh, whoops. Oh, shoot. What? Oh, sorry. Bug. Two feet aren't. Oh, this power of. Oh no, so this is power x to n over 2 power 2. Oh my god. No. No. Squared. Power of this base value. So this whole thing is our x. Ah, shoot. Yeah, I got my music and stuff over on that other one. The recursion ends when n equals 0, which in case returns 1. To test your function of permanence. X n minus 1. But if the formula, if it's even, we use let me try the other way then. What I was thinking, what if we just do this? This is squared, right? So can we not just multiply it by itself like that? I don't know. Just trying some stuff here. No! We got a value, but not what we're looking for there. Dang. Really? So that's for the odd one? Oh no, but then if it goes to even, it does this one? Dang. Yeah, we can top on. Dude, I've been playing a little bit of League every now and then, Tim. I've been grinding, dude. I got the little badge for like fast climber, bro. I'm fast climber. I'm getting out of bronze. I'm almost out of bronze. I'm like bronze 2. I'm gonna get to silver, and then I'm gonna get to gold. Next thing you know, we get a challenger, baby. Congrats on 4 or 5 boys. Thanks so much for 4,500 subs. That's super awesome of a feat we accomplished. You know, honestly, there's probably I wonder what like the YouTube top 1% is, right? It might be because there's so many YouTube channels, right? Or that really, if you get like over like 5,000 subscribers, you might be in the top like 2% or 5% or something. So we're climbing on, boys. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Inventive genes. That's a good idea. Okay, inventive genes says store the power of 2. So let's store this. Right? We store this. In and then you want us to do a return power on the temp value as our base and 2 as our power. But this will never decrease down. Oh, let's just no. What am I doing? What am I doing? Mike, chill. Come on. What are you doing? Okay, so I think our odd though doesn't work. I have the power of. Oh, we are working here. I was thinking 5 to the power. I was doing 5 times 5 is 25. That's why I was like, bro, we're way off. 3,000. 5 to the power of 5. 5 times 5, 3,000. No way. It's been a long day. Oh my gosh. I'm having to. I'm actually pretty excited about it. Because my script is actually working really well at work that I wrote for, auto computing the matrices, and it's proving to be kind of pretty successful. For our serum blends to hit our analytical ranges, which is pretty dynamic in kind of any format for our needs. They're having me kind of teach other people Python. Like, what the heck? So one of my coworkers, she's gonna start learning Python, so she can start working on we're helping out on the tool and and doing stuff. So I was like, dang, all right, here we go. Okay. Okay, so that one works. And let's try our odd. 5, 3. Let's go. I think that's it. Yes. I'm happy. I thought that was going to be a lot harder than it was. And it might be hard. Pause. But we might just be getting better. I'm not going to toot my own horn here, but we might just be getting better. Next problem, crushed. Did we do it? Is everything right here? Yeah. That's pretty dang good. I've done Lead Code Mohammed. We've done 100 problems. Honestly, I have a really hard time remembering what data structures are at my disposal. I just have a really hard time. Like, honestly, I just throw a hash map at everything. If it doesn't work, I try 2 pointers. That doesn't work. GG. That's GG. Throwing in the towel. Okay, number 7's done. I'm gonna get some feedback on this one. Have any feedback for my alt power function? This is solid. Runs an O log n instead of O of n. Ooh, we're stepping up. Oh, negative n exponents. If n is less than 1, or 0, return 1 over power. But then your return type must be a double. I mean, you could return double no matter what. So we'll make a note here. We'll say, careful. This does not work for negative exponents ATM. Interessante. Okay. Problem for another day. They didn't specify it in the problem. Not our problem. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to number 8 here. Maybe I'll hop on for a little game of League after completing chapter 9 and for hitting 4,500 subs tonight. So if you guys want to stick after we complete the chapter, stick around. I'll probably hop off, grab a snack, hop back on in like 30 minutes. Maybe for some League of Legends! I've been wanting to play. I haven't played in a couple days. On it like a week almost. Yeah, Sudoku Solver. We got cooked on that one. We also got cooked on there was like another multi-dimensional matrix. I was really bad. I probably still am. I'm probably a little bit better now that we've gotten some practice in C and in Python at multi-dimensional matrices, 2D matrices. And with our stock projects, we've gotten some practice with it, with having to graph data and stuff. And so we might be a little better now, but yeah, we got cooked back then, bad. Hey Carlos, thanks for joining me, dude. You're starting the book soon. Consider follow along to the audiobooks I got. I recorded myself reading the entire chapter live and chopped it up, so it's a pretty condensed format, and there's no blurbs or errors or hiccups. So consider following that along. It's really nice to listen to in the background, just to refresh your memory on the chapter or read it for the first time. To check my work, it's honestly usually pretty intuitive. The problems are pretty intuitive for what the answer should be. They're not so complex that you can't kind of infer what they kind of be. It's just you're doing basic functionalities to kind of rewrite, basic math, functions or, little games. And so the answers are pretty, intuitive and they're not to check your work. But, what I do sometimes though is if I want feedback, I throw it into Jeopardy here. The only time I really use Jeopardy is to reinforce the learning, solidify it after I've tried my hardest to do it on my own with other resources, and to just get a look at any potential errors and to help with debugging error messages and stuff. It's really helpful for making that a little faster and stuff. But yeah, but primarily we do things solo. Okay, number 8. Write a program that simulates the game of craps. I've never actually played this, which is played with 2 dice. On the first roll, the player wins if the sum of the dice is 7 or 11. The player loses if the sum of the dice is 2, 3, or 12. Any other roll is called the quote-unquote point, and the game continues. On each subsequent roll, the player wins if he or she rolls the point again. The player loses by rolling 7. Any other roll is ignored and the game continues. At the end of the game, the program will ask the user whether or not to play again. When the user enters a response other than yes, Y, or capital Y, the program will display the number of wins and losses and then terminate. Okay, so we're going to loop games here while looping rolls. Okay, cool. So this is kind of like a full-on thing here. Here we go. I heard that this is actually a pretty good game to play if you actually want to make some money in the casino. Like, Tim, what's your experience with? Have you played craps before, Tim? Okay. Let's go here. So we want we're gonna need to have to roll a random number, right? So we're gonna have to have we're gonna have to things we need, right? So let's make out some notes. Okay, so number 1, we need a roll function. This will roll a die randomly 1 to 6 inclusive. We need to roll 2 dice. Right? Is it DI or is it DIE for, it might be DI. Is it die or is it DI? What is English? We need to roll 2 die. So we have to call this function twice. So this function will be called twice. That's kind of it for the mechanism. We'll have a game function which will loop will start a game of craps. We need a roll counter where roll 1 or roll 0, right? Roll 0 if dice sum equals 7 or 11, auto win. Roll 0, we'll say if dice sum equals to a 2 or a 3 or a 12, we auto lose. Okay. We need a point counter. Roll 0, dice sum not equal to 7 or 11 or 2 or 3 or 12 then point plus equal plus plus, right? We'll say roll 1. Any other roll is called a quote point, and the game continues. On each subsequent roll, the player wins if he or she rolls the point again. through whatever. So we're going to need a point a point like a point or space array or something like that, where like on roll 1 through whatever, if roll is previous points score, auto win, we win. You roll a 7, you lose. Any other number is a point. And then you want to fill the point space array for that point scored. Something like this. Okay, so on roll 1, or roll 0 in this case, if you roll a 7 or 11, you win. On roll 0, or the first roll, if you roll a 2, 3, or 12, you lose. If you roll any other point on roll 0, or any other number, you if you run any if you if you roll any other number, you get a point for that number. Now on any other following roll, any other roll is called the point, and the game continues. Each subsequent roll, the player wins if he or she rolls the point again. The player loses by rolling a 7. Any other roll is ignored. Oh, so you have to hit the point. The point is the first roll after the first is the roll after the first. No, is the first roll. Okay, I'm trying to understand the game of craps here and code it, so it's taking me a little bit here. Stock sports gambler, Tim. What you been hitting on lately, Tim? What's going on, Odo Master? Or X-Do Master? Okay. Okay, so let's kind of just start. We kind of have enough pseudocode. We kind of understand a little bit. I think we can kind of get into some functions. So we're gonna have obviously a main function, and then we're gonna return 0 here. So let's write a function called int roll dice. Right? And that's all that this is going to be for its prototype. So int roll dice will so we need to, what is random again? Let me We used a random function in one of these problems previously. S random, and that's in time.h. S rand. Or that's in the standard library, maybe. And then we have no, because that just gives us a seed random. That's what srand stands for. We want a random value between a certain range. Shoot, I'm gonna have to look up in the C docs here. Random C. In C, you can make random numbers with the rand function found in the standard library. Gives you a sequence of numbers each time you're in the program. Okay, so what we can do is we can do this. Return rand mod 6 plus 1, right? Because that'll be 0 index 0 to 5, and we want 1 to 6. And we can do plus this same thing. And we can insert do we want a time? And then we can see what we can do is what you could, yeah, okay. So you can use the standard, you can use the time.h library, right? And then you can call a srand and put in a time function from time.h and insert null to make sure that you don't roll the same sequence every single time in the code here. It'll go based on our clock. All right. This is the parameters. Just main has no void parameters, but it has a return of an integer. Main in some defaults to returning an integer. In some interpretations, I think I can't remember if it's 89 or it does it automatically, but or whatever. Can't remember. Kind of one of those niche-y things. Okay, so we have a roll dice function which will return the sum of 2 dice. Return the sum of 2 die roll. 2 6-sided dice. Sum of a roll of 2 6-sided dice. Die. Okay, I think that'll do. So then we're gonna have a int game bool game. We're gonna say crap or play craps, right? And then we'll include the standard bool.h. I'm getting text, hold on. And so what this will do is return true or false whether you won or lost. Returns true or false, true, which is a win, or false, which is a loss. What's going on, Clips? Thanks for coming in, dude. Welcome, welcome. Appreciate you guys being here. If you guys could leave a like on the stream, much appreciated. Okay, so we need a we needed a roll count and a point. Int roll count equals to 0. And we're also going to have int point, which is not set to anything. We're going to say set point. Okay. Okay. Oh, there's more to this problem. Shoot. Your program has 3 functions: main, roll dice, and play game. Oh, we're already doing this. We pretty much already did this without even reading it. Here are the prototypes. Int roll dice, void. Bool play game, void. Oh, dude, I literally called it. No way. Roll dice should generate 2 random numbers, each between 1 and 6, and return their sum. Play game should play 1 game of craps, calling roll dice to determine the outcome of each dice. It will return true if the player wins and false if the player loses. Dude, I literally read this by mind. I read the mind. Play game is also responsible for displaying messages showing the results of the player's dice rolls. Main will call play game repeatedly, keeping track of the number of wins and losses. You win and you lose messages. No way. No way. That's crazy. Crazy. Okay. So what we're going to do is we need to call do. We need to get a random function, so we're going to call roll dice Okay, we're going to call roll dice. And we're going to save this in int roll. Right? This will roll once. If roll, we could say if roll, so if the initial roll equal to 7 or roll equal to 11, we return true. Okay. Else if roll equal to 2, 3, or 12. Oops. Roll equal to 12. Right? We return false. Right? Then we're going to say do do this, right? We're going to do roll or new roll. If we get to this point, we're going to have to do roll count plus plus. Right? So if we get through this point, roll count gets increased. We do a new roll while new roll does not equal to a 7. And if it is, you return, who is that? We got a cheer? What is that? We've never gotten that before. What the heck? What does that mean? 1 diamond? What is that? What is that? Anybody know what that is? Kitsumaso, thanks so much for the... Thanks so much. I appreciate that. The mystery emblems. You're awesome, dude. Thanks so much for being here. Let me pull up my Streamlabs and I can see, maybe it gives me more information here. Use 1 bits. Cheer. 100, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000? Question mark? What? Thanks for coming in, dude. Appreciate you. You're a beast. Okay. So we need to, I think at the end of this loop, you return false because you lost if you do this, right? So okay, no, so here we'll have to say if new roll equals to I'll just say roll. I'll just reuse the variable and overwrite it. If roll equals to equals to the point or the set point, right? Then we're going to return true. else we're going to return false because no, we don't need to do that here. We're going to automatically return false out of this because we exited the loop on a 7. What we're going to do is we're going to say if roll count is equal to 1, we're going to set point equal to the roll. Right, so this will roll again. So this rolls for the 0th roll. So let's just do roll count plus plus here. Right, so we'll increase the roll count to 1 after the first roll. If roll count equals to 2, we're going to do a roll equals to roll dice. I'm going to say if the roll is equal to 2, oh no, sorry, the roll count right is equal to 2, we're going to set the set point equal to the roll, right? Else, if roll count greater than 2 and the roll is equal to the set point, then we're going to return true. Right? So let's back up. When we play the game, we set roll count to 0 because we haven't rolled any times, and we set point to nothing. We do a roll for our first roll. Roll count increases to 1. If that first roll is 7 or 11, we win. If the roll, that first roll, is 2, 3, or 12, we lose. Okay, so then we don't need that there. We roll dice, increase the roll count. If the roll count is 2, meaning the first roll after, oh, no. Sorry. So if it's not this, then we set the set point equal to the roll at this point in time. Okay. Then we roll again. And we say, if just the roll is equal to the set point, we actually don't need a roll count then. So on each subsequent roll, any other roll is called the point, and the game continues. Okay, so you call the set point is equal to the roll on any other roll, right? Else, set point is equal to the roll. Do a roll and increase the roll count. If the roll happens to equal to the set point, I don't think we need roll count. So we roll the dice. If it equals to the set point, we return true. We do this while the dice is not equal to 7. And we return false if it is equal to 7. Okay, so then we're going to print you rolled a %d, and we'll insert into here the roll, right? You rolled that. So here, the roll function, does the roll function print? No, the play game displays messages. So say you rolled a blank. Boom, and then we'll say here, your point is right, and then we'll put the set point here, right? And then, hey, Overdue, how's it going? Hey, Lath, thanks for coming in. Welcome in, you guys. Appreciate you boys for being here. What you guys been studying, working on lately? Okay. So let's play games. So then, pool void. Okay. The point is this. Do this. Return true. Let's return false. Okay, so then our main function, we're gonna do this. Games 1 equals to 0. Games, or let's do this. We'll say int wins equals to 0. Loss equals to 0. We're going to say we'll say while 1 I guess we could just use for with the right. What we're gonna do is for nice Lath. Sounds pretty cool. Assembly code. So we're gonna use infinite loop here. And we're gonna say we're gonna call the play game. this is going to return a boolean game results equals to here. We say if game results, right? We're going to say wins plus plus, else loss plus plus. Then we're going to printf and say play again. And then leave it at that. Where they're going to say char user input equals to, or like this, we'll say get char we'll do include string.h. Is it string.h that has lower? String is lower in string.h. Two is lower. And C type. I always forget C type.h. Okay. We're going to say get char. We'll say while while char C is equal to get char is not equal to while 2 lower on get char is not equal to how should we do this? Play again. We put in a char. We get char. We lowercase it. We save it in C. And we make sure that it's not equal to yes or no. Can you do this? Bruh. You don't even vibe coding binary. What? We're going to say printf, say invalid. we'll say if C is equal to, quote, yes, we're going to continue. Else, if C is equal to, quote, no, we're going to printf wins My headphones died. No. No! Sorry. Trolling you guys. Wins 4D. Loss. So 4D. Alright. Okay, so this has wins and losses set to 0. We infinitely loop and call play game. If the result of the game is a win, a true, then we win. Else we lost. We get input from the user saying play again. If the user enters anything but yes or no, we continually print invalid. If they print yes or no, we break out of this loop and evaluate. If yes, continue. If no, print out the results, and then we return 0. Else and then we break. Let's take this actually here. We'll break out of the loop. Our for loop ends, we print, and then we will return 0. Give it a shot. Let's try it. I thought that's how you did that. Infinite for loop thing? Oh, it's just 2. Okay. Yeah, that's right. And then this doesn't work here. Why doesn't this work? I want to see this one here. So if C equals to and So I'll say I guess I'll just do this for, right, and then we can open it up. And then we'll say, we'll get the char, right? We'll take this. We'll say if C is equal to, or not equal to Y or no. We'll say invalid. Right. Else. Break out of this loop. Okay, not that many now. Okay, so I use undeclared identifier C. Char C here. Undeclared identifier. We're declaring the C to lower get char. Oh, but then it leaves the scope of the loop. Right, okay. So we're gonna do so we'll say do get char do this is C. No, I don't really need to do that actually. We just need to keep a C out front. Char C is equal to we just declare it here. We override there. Oh, we have user input that we're not using. That's what I was going to use it as. Oh, shoot. Okay. Okay, just one like that. Okay. Okay, let's try again. Let's try like T. Invalid, invalid. Invalid twice? What the heck? Oh, because I think it's getting the backslash N as well. Why did we get invalid twice there? Oh. Let me call printf. Let's see. Roll the 3. Play again. Okay. What? Exit. call play game. Game. If the roll is 7 or 11, you roll a true. Else if the roll is 2, oh, you've lost. So we'll print out I don't know the rules of the game. You win. Then you print it out here for you lose. And then you print it out here for you win. Okay, and then you print it out here for you lose. What? Expected expression. Oh. Else. Some bracketing going on here. Okay. So that'll roll, that'll run. Else that'll run. Do this. You roll the 7, you win. Play again. Yes. Invalid. Dang it. Okay, so I think our game's working. It's just this part here. We get char. So we need to do the thing that we did before. So we have to go like while C equals to lower or to lower, get char, and that value is not equal to quote \n. We'll continually loop
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy. Okay. Okay?
Thanks so much for
Absolutely.
the sub, Shreyas. Appreciate you. It's probably brutal. Like, we'll put it in one headphone to keep that from blasting you guys. Okay, so while we do this, okay, if this we print invalid, and then we continue, else break. Okay, so let's try that again. You rolled a, we've done that twice now. You rolled an 8, your point is an 8, you rolled an 8. That's crazy, you rolled 8s back to back. Okay, play again. T, invalid. Yes or no? You wrote, okay, so invalid. Yes or no? And then it jumps out of this. There is no more get char. So we need to so maybe we need to do this, right? While do get char, right? While the char so if you hit invalid, we need to prompt the user to get char and continue. What's going on, Poopa-choo? We're trying to loop through until a user input is hit using get char though. I think I'm gonna get a little bit of feedback on this one. I'm a little bit stumped here. So trying to use get char to loop until yes or no is hit. So I think do C equals to this. If C is equal to this, if C is equal to this, and C is not equal to this, and it's not equal to this, that's what we need. It's invalid. Can you just do this? It's easier just. Yeah, so I'm not sure why I'm doing that. So let me go back to my while loop, my infinite loop I had before. So while one, we're gonna do the get the char from the screen, force it lower. If it's yes or no, print invalid. Else break. We can remove this, but we need to say if C is equal to the \n, right? We need to continue if here break and how many times are we going to do that? Okay. Not bad. Let me do 2 space 2. Bro, do you roll the same number every single time? Does roll dice roll the same number every time? Oh yeah, it does. Based on the starting time, okay. I thought it would random every time you rolled. Oh yeah, it does. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Maybe you do it at the very beginning of the main function. We'll play again. Let's do T. Invalid. No. Okay, that worked. Okay, let's bring this up big. Oh, hold on. Okay, let's see. I think we got it. You rolled a 10. That's not a 7 or 11, so you have to roll again. You, but your point is set to 10. You roll a 5. You win. You roll 7, you win. No, that's not right. I need braces. Okay. Let's try again. Okay, we rolled 11 right off the jump. Yes. You rolled an 8. Your point is an 8. You rolled a 9. You rolled a 4. You rolled a 4. You rolled a 12. You rolled a 9. You rolled a 4. You rolled a 9. You rolled a 3. You rolled a 10. You rolled a 4. You rolled a 6. You rolled a 4. You rolled a 4. You rolled a 6. You rolled a 3. You rolled an 8. And it should say you won right there. Dang it. Okay, so we're missing a U1 on the point win, right? So if point you return, you need to print before you return. Print before you return, print before you return, print, return, print, return. Nice. I think that's the problem. Come on, let's go. That was fun. That was actually a lot of fun. It was challenging. I learned a lot, and it was fun to kind of put all this together here. You rolled an 8, you win. Play again? Yes. You rolled a 3, you lose. Play again? Yes. You rolled an 8, your point is 8. You rolled a 7, you lost because it was a 7. And you roll after their point is a 7 is a lose. You rolled a 7, you win. Play again. 7, you win. Wow. Oh, okay. You rolled the 5. Your point is a 5 because it's not a 7 or 11, so you keep rolling. You rolled a 10, a 9, a 2, 11, 8, a 7. You lose because you rolled the 7 on the subsequent rolls. So let's press no. 3 wins and 3 losses. Let's go. Woo! This is C Programming: A Modern Approach, second edition by K.N. King. I've got audiobook breakdowns on my channel as video uploads. You can listen to the audio, like me reading the book, completely, stutter free and stuff, chopped up nice and clean. Or you can watch the previous live streams to watch me type out my full notes and all my thinking behind the chapter. And then we've been solving all the problems in the book from scratch here. So let's go ahead, get a little feedback on this problem. I recreated craps. Yes, you did. You recreated craps logic from scratch in C. Proper modular design, dice roll and play game, Boolean usage, input validation loop, infinite game loop with clean exit, win-loss tracking. That's not beginner level anymore. That's solid fundamentals. Let's go. Indentation is slightly off. In which one? If roll equals set point. I don't know, it's fine. Oh, nice. We got it right. That's actually sick. All we needed a little help on was our loop here for invalidating the input logic. Just kind of refresher. But other than that, we got pretty much everything. Nice. That's so cool. All right, guys. That's awesome. We completed chapter 9. That is the completion of chapter 9. You got to leave a like for the completion of chapter 9. It's completely free. If you got an account here and you're wanting to support your boy, please, if you could leave a like. It's completely free. Thanks so much for doing so. So yeah, that's the completion of chapter 9. Let's go ahead and push this up to GitHub. Remember, all of my all of these problems you see from the chapter and from the book are on my GitHub. All my notes. I have great screenshots from the chapters. It's awesome. Chapter 9 completed. Functions unlocked. We'll say C functions unlocked. It would be fun. What if you wrote a program, like a visual program? This would be a cool project. I'll give you guys some free idea here. You have a program that tracks your learning of maybe through a book. Like, you could use this book as an example. Maybe you create some visual cards or something, like some emotes or some visual character or something to represent each chapter. And as you get through it, you can unlock the character, ungrayed out, in GTA or something. It's not grayed out from the lock screen or whatever, right? So that'd be kind of fun, if you made it so, oh, I got C functions, and then it unlocks, and then you or something. I don't know. That'd be a cool project in general. It'd be kind of hard because you'd have to really tailor each map to each book. But maybe if you really cared about learning the books you read and wanted to make some sort of like online follow along for the book using like JavaScript and stuff. That'd be kind of cool. But anywho, next chapter is chapter 10, program organization. Boring. Where's the pointers? Where's the pointers? Bring out the point. Where is Malik? We want Malik. We haven't learned about memory or pointers or Malik yet. We need to get this stuff. Come on, where is it at? We're 200 pages in the book here. Where are you? That's funny. Anyways, how long is this chapter? So chapter 10 is 219 to... Oh, it's not going to be very long. 237 with only a couple Q&A. Easy. Less than 20 pages. 18 pages? Is it 219 or 214 did I say it started on? 19, yeah. Only 18 pages. Okay, we can do that, I think, in one whole stream. So we can do one whole reading session next time and read out chapter 10. How many exercises are there and stuff? They're probably going to be like this, writing whole programs. Oh, it's going to be tough. One, two, three. 3 exercises and 7 projects. Not bad. Not bad. Oh! Hallelujah. 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 Finally. We found it. We're 1 chapter away. Okay, we're going to complete chapter 10 fast so we can get to this. We've been waiting for this one. I've been waiting for this one. Oh, I found that sound effect, by the way. Hold on. Let me get it. It was, that sound effect, I want to get one of those, like, Elgato soundboard things so I can play some sound effects. Hold on, let me, what's it called? It's called, oh, yeah, there we go. I want to get this. Okay, I also have another idea for a project I think would be fun. Imagine if you could, would it be very hard if you could you tap into the compiler somehow and write in there, like, if on a successful compile it plays a sound effect, and on an unsuccessful compile or with certain errors you play certain sound effects? I think that would be so fun. Like, it's just a small little thing that can make it kind of funny. Like, if you compile and it fails with certain and you get hit with this bad boy. Oh, hold on. I don't know why I love this sound effect so much. Get hit with that bad boy after a bad compile. Oh, that's funny. Bro, you got like 32 gigabytes. You don't need to know about memory. Yeah, you can add build scripts. I have a post build script that copies the DL somewhere. That'd be funny if you could add in sound effects. As you don't compile. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. If you guys could just leave a like tonight. There's a couple of y'all in here still trickling. Thanks so much for being here and lurking and studying with me. We've been learning C real nice and smooth like. Finishing up chapter 9. Gonna get into chapter 10 tomorrow. We've also started to poke around the idea about starting our next project, like our next major project as a stream. Kind of looking into doing another full stack project with Next.js. Kind of getting into seeing if we can maybe build an actual product something that I care about. So like stocks and like seeing if we can maybe visualize stock data in a unique way, and provide that to maybe customers or something, I think would be cool. Um, right? We can maybe provide unique, graphs and view point of views at like options and or price or things like that, that you can't really normally find on like brokerages or other types of sites, if you weren't doing the data analysis yourself or with Python. So I think that that could be cool. It's not like super crazy hard or like, but it does have like a little bit of a gap in industry, like somewhat like yeah, you can get the data and do it yourself, but not a lot of people know about that, and they might want to like maybe dabble in seeing or the data, just like relative volumes over certain periods, and or more customized statistics and graphs that you can do with inputs to make use our Python scripts on the back end or something. Anywho, appreciate you guys being here. This was awesome. Um, you can modify the interpreter pretty easy. You could literally launch a rocket on pipeline. I'm not sure what that means. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for being here. See you guys tomorrow. I'll be back around 7 p.m. PST, like usual. My name is Mike. Got a degree in human biology and minor in chemistry. Been teaching myself how to code for a little over a year and a half now. Diving into Python and now into C. Going through books, courses, online resources. No vibe coding, but we are vibing. All right, guys. See you guys. Peace. That's got to be the new motto. No vibe code, just vibe.